Hello everyone and welcome to Year 13 Virtual Information Evening. My name is Miss Williams and I'm the head of Year 13. I'd like to first begin by saying how delighted I am to have all of the Year 13 students back in school. I know that the lockdown period was not easy for them in the slightest, but in spite of those challenges that they faced, it's great to see how resilient they have been and how they have continued to press on. It's also great to see the positive mindsets that they have all adopted and come back with, and how well adjusted they have been to the new changes that we have around the school in light of COVID. All students have been very understanding of the importance of safety, and they have so far been adhering to the safety measures that we all have in place. The aim of this information evening is to provide you with the key details that you need to best support your child throughout this academic year. I'll be providing key important dates to add to your diary. I'll be explaining the study habits that your child should now be adopting, and I will also be explaining the UCAS process and how we will be supporting your child during their application. Finally, I will also share some advice on how you can support your child and identifying when the pressure points might be so you know what support to give and when. I do hope that you find this information evening to be of use to yourselves. I will also leave my contact details at the end in case you have any further queries or concerns. So please do not hesitate to contact me, and in the meantime, stay safe and well, and I do hope that I can see you all again soon. As mentioned, the aims for this evening are to outline the importance of Year 13 in preparing your child for their future pathways. We'll outline the key study skills and habits that are required for your child to excel in their sixth form studies. We'll give you a brief overview of the UCAS process and also mention the support that is currently available to your child at this time. And then we will conclude with important calendar dates for you to add to your diary. I'd like to begin by discussing the most recent A-level results. Whilst it was unfortunate that students were not in a position to take exams at the end of last year, we were still very rigorous in predicting and awarding the centre-assessed grades, and they were excellent results achieved across the board. We are proud of these results, and I have no doubts that we will be replicating or even exceeding these results this time around. We have every expectation that this year group will have the opportunity to sit their exams and to do themselves proud. This comes down to good behaviours and good routines, which I'm sure we will have your support with throughout the duration of this academic year. We believe that the sixth form is a transition between school and university or employment, where young people will develop into mature, self-motivated and confident learners. And these are the types of students that universities and employers want in this fiercely competitive world. We therefore feel that students should be working with their teachers, their tutors and their parents, and they should also be taking full responsibility for their own learning. Students are therefore required to meet our expectations of attendance and punctuality, especially as there are now measures in place in light of COVID, which means students are able to spend their independent study off-site. So how they utilise their time outside of lesson is really crucial and can make all the difference to their future exam success. Students should view their time in the sixth form as a full-time job and make learning their priority. As a general guide or a general rule of thumb, students should be studying 3 to 4 hours per day beyond their lessons, and that's either in school or at home. When students are not in lessons, they are timetabled to have independent study sessions where we expect them to engage in appropriate independent study. Subject teachers regularly provide work for students to complete, and that can be in the form of assignments, homework tasks, and students are expected to complete those tasks in addition to the ongoing revision that they have to do in preparation for their future assessments and examinations. Independent study sessions and free periods are designed to help alleviate anxiety and workload at home. It's also highly reflective of the adult world and university environments that students will soon find themselves working within. So it's therefore important that they are trusted to complete work independently and to a high standard. I'd just like to give you a brief overview of the Year 13 timetable so you can get a feel of what time is allocated to independent study. The school day begins at 8:30 a.m, with the exception of Friday week A, in which students are not required to be in school until 8:45 when their first lesson starts. If a student has a free period between lessons 1 and 2, they are all required to remain on site and to work either in the library or in the atrium. However, if they have free periods following on from periods 1 and 2, then they are more than welcome to either stay off-site or to remain on-site in the library or the atrium at this time and make use of the facilities that are available to them. The school day typically ends at 2:15 unless your child has an extended day in which they will finish at 3:45 p.m. So you can see from this timetable example that there is quite a significant amount of time that can be allocated to independent studying. We understand that year 13 can be a challenging year with heightened pressures as the academic year progresses. So we do have a variety of support systems in place to hopefully alleviate that stress. We first have the pastoral tutor in which your child would see on a daily basis. So they would normally be your child's first point of call should any issues arise. Following on from this, we do have Sormay, who is our senior learning mentor, who is able to provide any help or support around any mental health concerns or any other concerns that may be affecting your child's safety and happiness in the school. Following on from that, we do have Mandy, our school counsellor, who is available to have sessions with any students who are requesting it on either Tuesdays or Wednesdays. Should your child wish to receive this support, please contact myself so that I can have this provision arranged. Right, so moving on to UCAS, a very important process for our Year 13s who are due to progress onto further education and apprenticeships. Every fortnight and during morning registration, students are able to focus on their UCAS, and we hope to encourage students to make informed decisions about their chosen pathways, ensuring that their decision is not rushed and that they have the time to do their research. I just want to make you aware of the important deadlines for UCAS. We have the 15th of October deadline for students who are hoping to apply for medicine, dentistry, veterinary or Oxbridge. All other deadlines for UCAS will be on the 23rd of October. Again, this is a rigorous process, and at each step of the way, students have been supported by having their personal statements checked. The first draft was submitted back in June, and since then, students have continued to review feedback given by the supervisor that they have been allocated. I'm now going to share with you some key UCAS messages to help support conversations at home surrounding UCAS. The first point to mention is that the UCAS process can be time consuming, so it's incredibly important that your child is on top of their personal statement writing and that they are regularly reviewing the feedback that has been given to them by their supervisor. Following on from this, the next point to add is that all exams and their grades matter. UCAS projections that have been given to each student have been largely based upon their Year 12 performance and also assessments that they have completed at the beginning of Year 13. Poor performance is likely to affect what courses they are able to apply for, so it's of incredible importance that they are continuing to review the entry requirements of the courses for which they are applying and making sure that they are meeting the requirements of those courses. Finally, the application deadline is also of incredible importance. The earlier your child submits their application, the better their university offers are likely to be. That is simply because the later they leave their submission, the less spaces that are available. So ultimately, they are competing for fewer spaces. We also like to send applications in by the 23rd, as students tend to feel less pressured once it's sent off, and it allows them more time to focus on their exams, because ultimately the exams are the final predictor in securing those university places. We will be talking through the student finance process at a later stage, so more information and guidance will be provided on this, and we will keep you posted when that will be. In case you are wondering how to support your child at home, for us a massive help would be with your child's attendance and making sure that it remains above 95% where possible. We do understand, given the current climate, that your child might be required to self-isolate at home for up to 2 weeks. But for other minor illnesses, such as a headache, we do encourage that you bring your child to school, and if we don't feel that they are fit to remain in school, then we will make sure that they are sent home and that you are kept informed about that decision. It's also useful to have an awareness of key dates and deadlines to add to your diary. As you are aware, missing a coursework deadline is now the equivalent of missing an actual exam, and subsequently that can lead to one of your students being given an ungraded assignment, which can negatively impact their overall grade and also prevent them from securing their chosen pathway. So to reduce that issue, I think it's worth having open conversations with your child to see how they are progressing with their coursework and to help them identify any areas where they might need additional support. Aside from coursework, it's also worth checking your child's notes, making sure that they are neat and tidy and that they are well organised. This will be of huge importance as your child draws closer to the exam season, and it will help to make sure that they have structure to their revision. As you can imagine, as students progress through year 13, the year might become increasingly challenging, particularly because exams are now linear. Therefore, having simple discussions with students at home and encouraging them to teach a family member a particular topic has been found to increase exam success by as much as 12%. This is because it's helping to consolidate their knowledge and understanding, and it's overall found to have a huge impact on their overall progress. So please do encourage this in your household, and please continue to ask questions about what they're learning in the classroom environment. Lastly, if there are any concerns throughout the academic year, please continue to have an open dialogue with myself and Mr. Thorley, the head of sixth form, and we will make sure that all issues are resolved effectively and efficiently. I'd now like to take this opportunity to share with you the different revision strategies that your child should now be implementing in preparation for their exams. They should be in a position where they are adding detail to their notes at the end of each subject lesson, using the resources that are available to them and that have been created by their subject teachers. There are also a variety of revision materials available on exam websites as well as in the student shared area, which students can use to help build up their exam practice. Memorising content is not necessarily easy, but revision can be fun. So creating flashcards, creating mind maps and posters, and then asking family members to test each student on those topics can be fun and engaging for students and is highly effective for recall. And aside from this, we do encourage reading around the subject. There are a wealth of resources available in the sixth form area and in the sixth form library that students can use to help add breadth and understanding to each subject they are studying. We do encourage that students are also going home and completing exam questions under timed conditions, just so that they can get a feel of their strengths and weaknesses and review their performance throughout the academic year. I'd now like to share with you the important dates that will take place throughout this academic year that you can add to your diary. The first deadline, which seems to be fastly approaching, is UCAS, which has a deadline of the 15th of October or the 23rd of October, dependent on what course your child is applying for. Following on from this, we then have pre-public examinations, which have been scheduled for week commencing the 11th of January. Pre-public exams ensure that we have a clearer picture of the grades students are working towards. And should the situation arise again where we have to award centre assessed grades, then we will be in a strong position to provide accurate predictions with the assessments that have so far been completed. Following on from this, we will be holding parent meetings of some sort. Further details on that will be released, but so far it has been scheduled to take place on the 24th of February 2021. As always, if you have any questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to contact myself or Mr. Thorley using the email addresses that have been provided. Other than that, this concludes the information evening. I do hope that you have found it to be of great use to yourselves, and I look forward to seeing you all on the subject evening, which has been scheduled for the 24th of February. Until then, please do take care and stay safe.